Serious. Late night hikers, what is the creepiest thing you have seen? When I was very little, like 5 or 6, my dad used to take me on all sorts of adventures through nature, especially when we owned a little cottage up in the Scottish Highlands. Now, my dad is a sort of Yorkshire lad type and very spry, despite his being about 55 at the time, and on this particular occasion had decided we were going to go hiking way up into the cliffs. I was quite happy with this development as it meant piggyback ride for at least 90% of the difficult bits. This was a proper trek. He wanted to get to one of the highest bluffs so we could have an amazing 360-degree view of gorgeous meadows and some sparkling sea. But after we reached the top plains, where it's all short, wind-whipped grass, and you can see for miles, he suddenly turned very still and very quiet. When you're small, parents are God, so seeing your dad looked frightened is scarier than anything your own mind can come up with. So I was pulling on his arm and going, "What? What?" My mom is epileptic, and I saw her fits when I was a kid, so I thought it was happening to him too, or something similar, and I wouldn't know what to do because we're up on this huge cliff and no one is around, and went just as fast as he started it. He snapped out of it, lifted me right up, and just started walking away without saying anything. Over his shoulder, I could see a big, pale yellow object stuck into the ground, like an obelisk. I know now that it was a refrigerator. When I was older and I asked my dad about it, he stiffened up and told me that when he was a boy in the 50s, he and his little friends had found an old-style fridge in the woods. And, being little boys, they opened it. Well, of course, they found a body. Another child who, by whichever means, had found themselves in the fridge and unable to get out. My dad has never mentioned a gender, which leads me to believe he either witnessed a very decomposed or skeletonized individual. But I can't ask him. Remember that episode of The Simpsons where they unlock Homer's PTSD and it turns out he found a dead body when he was a teenager? My dad grew increasingly uncomfortable the first time we saw that episode, and had excused himself to the kitchen before the ending. My dad has seen some gnarly shit, but for whatever reason he will not discuss anything further about this dead child in the fridge. Only that happened. So when he explained, I assumed it was the trauma, and I said something like, "Oh, that's awful. So when you saw the fridge up there, it brought back old memories?" And he honestly looked at me like I was an idiot. I'll never forget it. "No, Amy," he said in a very low tone. "It was because it was the same